Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about how I conceptualize music and tell you all about my brand new course, Samurai Guitar Theory: The Rudiments, which is available over at www.samuraiguitartheory.com, and for this first week that it's released, it's 50% off with the promo code FIRSTWEEK50. I started taking guitar lessons when I was 13, and the first year or so wasn't anything noteworthy. I'm still quite close with my first teacher, and he's told me that back then I was by no means an exceptional student and showed about an average interest at best. I don't remember exactly why, but sometime during my second year I got totally hooked. I started practicing more and more and dove deeper into music. My teacher recognized this, our lessons started going overtime, and a year and a half into my guitar journey, he started to show me the inner workings of music. I didn't grow up in a musical household, and I definitely wasn't a child prodigy, so I couldn't get by on my ear and instinct. Instead, my instructor taught me music from a theoretical standpoint. This made a lot of sense with my way of thinking, and he did a great job showing me how to incorporate all this new information in a fun and practical way. That system of looking at music hasn't really changed for me. I mean, I've refined and developed things over time, but everything I do can be traced back to a logical understanding of how certain sounds react together. Say, for example, I play an A chord, and I play this over top. I know that what I'm doing there is starting on the major 7th, going up to the root, and then descending down the major 7 arpeggio, and then sliding up to the 9th. I know that these notes are going to sound quite harmonious, whereas the 7th and the 9th stand out a little bit. I know if the chord then changes to an E, and I'm still holding the 9th over top, that note now becomes the 5th of E. Or say I'm writing a chord progression in the key of C. I might go up to an E7 here, even though that's not in the key of C, because that's going to lead nicely to an A minor 7. The expected root motion of that will take me up to a D minor 7, and then instead of going to the obvious G7, I might use a tritone substitution to go to a C sharp altered, which will resolve nicely back to that C major 7. These are just two examples, but hopefully that gives you an insight as to how I think about music. I can hear this stuff before I play it, and I can recognize these sounds by ear as well. Now, when I say that this is how I think about music, I don't mean that these thoughts are actively going on in my head as I play. I've worked on this stuff enough that it just happens instinctually, and there's a simultaneous connection between what I imagine and what comes out of my guitar. In the same way that when I talk to you, I don't need to think about vocabulary and grammar. Looking at music this way has shaped everything I've done on the instrument. I know how sounds will react together, so I'm not playing the guessing game. I know what note will have what effect, so I get to spend my time being creative with that knowledge. If I didn't have my system in place, I would have to use trial and error to figure out which notes worked together and which notes didn't. And you know what? Some amazing musicians have learned that way. It's a method that works. But for me, I figured it was rather inefficient, especially given the resources I had available. It's a common misconception that theoretical thinking limits creativity. I couldn't disagree more. Theory doesn't give us hard and fast rules, but rather it shows us the expectation we get to be as creative as we want with that information. I've touched on some of this stuff in my Sensei series, but YouTube doesn't really make sense for long-form detailed lessons. So I went and made a course on how to understand music in the way I do. It's called Samurai Guitar Theory: The Rudiments, and I'm happy to announce that as of today you can find it over at www.samuraiguitartheory.com. And for this first week that it's out, you can get 50% off using the promo code FIRSTWEEK50. I'll link to this information in the description as well. I've wanted to make this since I started this channel, so back in October I decided enough messing around, time to make it happen. 9 months later, it's out in the world. To see music through an analytical lens, you need to start at the basics and build upon a rock-solid foundation. This course looks at the building blocks of music, analyzing what they are, what they sound like, and how that information applies to your guitar. It's a comprehensive study spanning 10 videos with 8 lessons. Each lesson has a video, documentation to accompany the lesson, a quiz, and a list of things you should be practicing with the new information. I hired a crew to shoot, edit, and animate it, so I can safely say this is the most professional thing I've ever done. I've taught this information countless times to countless students. I know where people often get hung up, so I've made an effort to make sure everything is intuitive and easy to grasp. This course is for the person who's played some guitar, learned some stuff through tabs, but never really figured out why they put their fingers where they do. I'm not going to claim it'll change your life overnight or instantly turn you into the next Steve Vai, but rather it lays the foundation for a system that you can use in all your musical endeavors going forward. There's a wealth of information and a much deeper dive than anything I've ever taught on YouTube. For more information, including a detailed curriculum, head over to www.samuraiguitartheory.com, and don't forget that for this first week it's released, you get 50% off with promo code FIRSTWEEK50. This is the only time I will ever have this course discounted this much. I'll put a link to all this information in the description as well. I really believe in this resource, and after months of working on it, I'm thrilled that it's finally out in the world. Thank you all for watching today. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I will see you again soon.